It happened in less than a minute. A woman in her 70s collapsed in her kitchen. Her husband called 911 immediately, but the ambulance was still 7 minutes away. 7 minutes that could decide whether she lived or didn't. But what saved her life wasn't a pill, a machine, or even the paramedics. It was the position her husband placed her in while waiting. A simple shift that kept her airway open, blood flowing, and her brain alive. I'm Dr. Howard Tucker, neurologist and longevity doctor, and in this episode, we're revealing the #1 position that could literally keep you alive while waiting for help. It's simple, proven by science, and something every senior and caregiver must know. Sitting across from me today is a man whose wisdom continues to guide millions, the legendary Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's oldest practicing physician, who's treated more patients in his lifetime than most doctors could imagine.
Thank you, Howard. This is one of the most overlooked life-saving habits in medicine. In emergencies, whether it's a heart attack, fainting spell, stroke, or sudden collapse, what the body needs most is oxygen, circulation, and calm. But panic often steals those precious first minutes.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this episode. Because the truth is, most people don't die waiting for help. They die because of what happens during the wait. They slump over, cut off their airway, or allow blood to pool in the wrong places. And yet a single adjustment in body position can prevent all of that.
Yes. The body is remarkably resilient if we know how to support it. There's a specific position that helps stabilize breathing, maintains blood pressure, and keeps the heart and brain communicating. And it doesn't require strength or equipment.
So if you or someone you love ever experiences chest pain, dizziness, or even sudden fatigue, this next segment might be the most important thing you ever learn. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to position the body to stay alive, and why emergency doctors around the world quietly call it the golden position. Don't look away. These next few minutes could save a life. Doctor, before we reveal the position itself, help us understand why it matters so much. What's really happening inside the body in those first few minutes after someone collapses or feels faint?
The body enters what I call a silent emergency. The heart struggles to pump blood upward, and the brain, our most oxygen-hungry organ, starts losing supply within seconds. That's when people turn pale, dizzy, or lose consciousness. The instinct is to sit up or slump forward, but that actually worsens the situation. It makes the heart work harder and lets blood drain away from where it's needed most.
So in other words, gravity becomes the enemy.
Exactly. But the right position can turn gravity into a friend. The goal is simple. Keep oxygen moving to the brain and heart without overworking either. Research from the European Resuscitation Council shows that body angle and limb placement directly affect circulation and breathing efficiency. When we align the torso, head, and legs correctly, the heart doesn't have to fight uphill to deliver blood.
That makes perfect sense, especially for older adults whose blood vessels and nerves react slower. Many don't realize how fast oxygen levels drop even from mild dehydration or medication side effects.
Yes, and that's why awareness matters. Seniors often stand too quickly, faint, or feel their vision fade. It's not weakness, it's a temporary drop in blood flow to the brain, called orthostatic hypotension. The body can recover if it's guided into the right posture.
And this isn't just theory, right? Hospitals already use versions of this idea when stabilizing trauma or stroke patients.
Correct. It's called the recovery position, a gentle side-lying posture that keeps the airway open and allows breathing to remain clear and prevents choking if vomiting occurs. In Japan, we also emphasize elevating one leg slightly with a rolled towel or pillow. That small tilt keeps circulation active without stressing the heart.
So while everyone else panics, this calm, deliberate action buys the body time.
Precisely. It preserves what medicine calls the golden window, the critical minutes before professionals arrive. Think of it as pressing pause on decline. Oxygen keeps flowing, the heart stabilizes, the brain stays awake, and most importantly, panic gives way to purpose.
That's incredible. So next, let's walk our listeners through exactly how to do it, step by step, safely and quickly. Because knowing why it works is one thing, but knowing how could be the difference between life and loss. All right, doctor, let's go step by step. You've called this the golden position. What does it look like? And how can someone do it safely at home, especially when panic sets in?
The key, Howard, is to think low, open, and supported. If someone feels faint or is losing consciousness, guide them down to the floor or a firm surface. Never try to keep them standing. Lying down allows gravity to assist circulation. Then, gently turn them onto their left side, not flat on their back.
Why the left side?
It's simple physiology. When the body lies slightly on the left, the heart and major blood vessels align in a way that helps blood return to the heart more efficiently. It also keeps the airway open and reduces the chance of fluid or vomit entering the lungs. If the person vomits or coughs, the fluid drains safely out, not back into the throat.
So this isn't about comfort, it's about survival mechanics.
Exactly. Once they're on the side, bend the top knee to stabilize the body so they don't roll forward or backward. The lower arm stays extended straight, and the upper hand can rest under the cheek for support. It's stable, safe, and allows clear breathing.
And what about the head? Many people try to tilt it back or place a pillow.
That's one of the biggest mistakes. Tilting too far back can block the airway. Instead, slightly extend the chin forward. Imagine creating a gentle curve from chest to mouth so air flows freely. Keep the mouth slightly open if possible. No pillow needed. Stability and airflow come first.
And if someone can't move themselves?
You don't need strength. Guide by rolling their shoulder and knee together as one unit. Move slowly. Speed isn't important. Control is. Once in position, check their breathing. If they're breathing normally, keep them there and stay beside them until help arrives.
That seems manageable, even for someone without medical training.
It is, and for seniors living alone, practice it once. Know how to get onto your side safely from a sitting position. Keep a small pillow or rolled towel near the bed or chair. Familiarity removes panic.
That's powerful. Simple muscle memory that could save a life.
Yes, because in emergencies, the body doesn't rise to the occasion. It falls to its level of preparation. Knowing this position gives you that level.
Beautifully said. Coming up next, we'll talk about when not to use this position and the red flags that mean you need a different approach while waiting for help. Doctor, the position you just described sounds like a lifesaver, but I imagine there are a few cases where it might need to be adapted or even avoided altogether. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely, Howard. The recovery position is powerful, but like any tool, it must fit the situation. The first rule is simple. If the person is breathing but unresponsive, use it. But if they stop breathing or have no pulse, do not place them on their side. You start CPR immediately on a firm surface. The goal shifts from stability to revival.
That distinction could save critical seconds. Position for breathing, compressions for no pulse.
Exactly. Now, for people showing chest pain or pressure, especially if it radiates to the arm or jaw, we modify the position. Instead of lying on the side, keep them semi-reclined, about a 45-degree angle, with the back supported and knees slightly bent. That position eases strain on the heart and improves oxygen flow. If they're conscious, tell them to stay still and breathe slowly. Moving or lying flat can worsen the pain because the heart has to push harder.
So that's more of a heart-sparing version of the technique.
Yes, and it's the same logic paramedics use in ambulances. For stroke symptoms, however, the side position is ideal, but only toward the side of the body that's not paralyzed. That helps protect the airway if swallowing is weak. Keep the head level, never tilt down, and loosen any tight collars or belts. The brain is fighting for blood flow, so the less compression and twisting the better.
That's a subtle but vital detail. Left versus right, depending on the side affected.
Exactly. And one more situation to understand, breathing difficulties, like COPD or asthma. For these, lying flat or fully sideways may worsen oxygen intake. Instead, keep the upper body elevated, propped slightly forward, with arms resting on a pillow or table. That posture naturally opens the chest and diaphragm, making each breath easier.
So, it's really about adapting circulation and airflow together, never forcing one pattern for all.
Correct. And one last note, if there's been a fall or possible spinal injury, avoid rolling entirely. Keep the person flat, stabilize the head, and wait for trained help. Movement could worsen unseen damage.
It's incredible how small angles and adjustments can mean everything in those moments.
They do. These are not grand medical maneuvers. They're acts of awareness, and awareness, especially in seniors, is what buys life its precious extra minutes.
Coming up next, we'll explore what to do after the danger passes, how to help the body recover safely while waiting for medical confirmation. Doctor, let's say someone's been placed safely in the correct position. The ambulance is on its way. Those few minutes can feel endless. What should the person next to them be doing in that time?
The most important thing, Howard, is presence over panic. Once the person is positioned correctly, your job is to observe, not overreact. Every 30 seconds or so, check their breathing rhythm. Look at the rise and fall of the chest. Don't rely only on sound. If their breathing becomes shallow, slow, or stops, gently roll them onto their back and begin CPR if trained.
So the goal is constant awareness without constant movement.
Exactly. Motion can cause harm. Stillness with attention saves lives. The body is fragile during this phase. Blood pressure is trying to rebalance. Oxygen is circulating unevenly, and the nervous system is in shock. Touch should be calm, grounding. Keep a hand near their shoulder or upper arm, not their face or neck. The warmth and reassurance of another human nearby actually help stabilize pulse and breathing.
That's fascinating. Almost like emotional first aid complementing physical care.
Very much so. Studies from Tokyo Medical University show that patients who received calm verbal reassurance or during emergencies maintain steadier heart rates and oxygen saturation than those left in silence. Words matter. Tell them you're there. Encourage slow breaths if they're conscious. That quiet connection keeps panic hormones down and helps the brain conserve oxygen.
And what about the practical side? Should caregivers be noting anything for paramedics?
Yes, absolutely. Time matters. Note when the episode began, what symptoms appeared first: chest pain, dizziness, slurred speech, and whether they lost consciousness. If you know their medications, gather them. Write it all on a piece of paper or keep the pill bottles ready. When emergency responders arrive, hand that over first. It can shave minutes off diagnosis.
And if the person starts to recover before the ambulance arrives?
Don't rush to sit them up. Let them remain lying slightly on their side for at least a few minutes after regaining awareness. Sudden sitting or standing can cause blood pressure to crash again. Offer small sips of water only if they are fully alert and able to swallow normally. Never give food or medication without medical clearance.
So calm, oxygen, and patience. That's the real triad.
Yes. Think of yourself as their steady heartbeat outside their body. If you stay composed, they mirror that. And by the time professionals take over, you've already given them the most valuable gift: time and stability.
That's remarkable, Doctor. In a world that teaches us to rush, sometimes the greatest act of help is to simply stay grounded.
Exactly. We don't have to be doctors to save lives. We only have to remember that awareness and stillness can be medicine too.
Beautifully said. In our final section, we'll reflect on why mastering this one position can change how you view emergencies forever, and how it gives seniors back something medicine alone can't: control. Doctor, everything you've shared today feels simple, but I think that's what makes it so powerful. Most people imagine emergency care as a race against time, but what you're describing is something different: a race toward calm, awareness, and control.
Yes, Howard, that's exactly it. Emergencies aren't just medical moments, they're psychological storms. And the person who can stay composed becomes the anchor. The position we've discussed today isn't only about airflow or blood flow, it's about restoring order inside chaos. It gives both the body and the mind a message: you are safe for now, help is coming.
I love that. Safe for now. Because when panic takes over, even healthy people lose their reasoning. They forget what they know. They freeze. But practicing this position once or twice, even when you're healthy, plants that knowledge deep in the body.
Precisely. The Japanese call this kokoro no junbi, preparing the heart. It means training yourself in peace before crisis comes. Seniors often feel powerless in emergencies, as if aging makes them bystanders to their own bodies. But when they know this technique, they reclaim agency. They're no longer waiting helplessly. They're participating in their own survival.
That's a huge mindset shift, from fear to participation, and I imagine it has ripple effects beyond emergencies.
Absolutely. When seniors practice calm positioning, breath control, and awareness, they activate the parasympathetic system, the body's natural stabilizer. It lowers blood pressure, slows the heart rate, and sharpens clarity. Over time, this practice can even improve recovery after fainting or heart stress. The science is clear. Controlled posture and breathing send powerful biochemical signals that protect vital organs.
You know, I'm thinking of a listener who might be sitting alone right now, worried they wouldn't know what to do if they or their spouse collapsed. What would you say to them?
I would say this: learn one thing well, and you'll never feel powerless again. This position, the recovery position, is your first line of defense. Practice it once on a soft surface. Learn how to roll gently, how to breathe through it, and how to notice your surroundings. That familiarity rewires fear into readiness.
And it's not just saving lives, it's preserving dignity.
Yes, because aging doesn't take away strength. It simply asks us to use it wisely. Knowing how to protect yourself while waiting for help is one of the wisest forms of strength there is.
Doctor, that's beautifully said. For everyone listening, if you take just one thing from this episode, let it be this. You don't have to be a doctor to save a life. Sometimes you just have to know how to position one.
Exactly, and that's what true preparedness looks like. Calm hands, clear mind, steady heart.
You know, Doctor, as we wrap up, I keep thinking about how quiet survival really is. No flashing lights, no heroics, just one small movement that changes everything.
That's the truth, Howard. Real life-saving rarely looks dramatic. It's the stillness between panic and peace. The human body is built to survive. It only needs the right signal. That's what this position gives it.
And maybe that's the lesson we forget as we age. We rush for devices, prescriptions, and complex plans. But the thing that keeps us alive is often the simplest. Air, blood, calm, position.
Exactly. Nature designed the body to cooperate with gravity, not fight it. When we understand that, we stop fearing collapse. We start understanding recovery.
I think that's what people will carry from this episode. That help doesn't only come from the outside. Sometimes it starts with how we hold ourselves in the hardest moments.
Yes, and it's also about preparation. The more familiar your body is with safety, the faster it finds it again under stress. Seniors who practice calm breathing or gentle positioning once or twice a month are training the nervous system for resilience.
That's incredible, and it makes me wonder what else the body remembers if we just teach it the right way.
Much more than we think. There are small, natural reflexes, like a breath pattern that stabilizes the brain after fainting, that most people have forgotten. It's something I teach often in Japan. One single breathing rhythm can help restart brain oxygen flow within seconds.
You're talking about something every listener will want to know next.
Yes, because if the position keeps you alive, the breath brings you back.
That's the perfect way to end, or maybe to begin. So if you're listening right now, don't move on yet. The next episode continues this conversation. We'll reveal the one breathing pattern doctors use to reawaken the brain after a sudden blackout or fall. It's gentle, silent, and more powerful than most people realize.
And like today's topic, it's something every senior should know before they ever need it.
Exactly, because survival isn't luck. It's knowledge remembered at the right time.
And that knowledge begins here.
Stay curious and stay ready.